Hi, and welcome to Hypothetically Intentional, where we ask the question, what if we set intentions with everything we do? I'm your host, Michelle Albers, and today my intention is to get curious, meaning I would love to hear your feedback, but also to share some of my favorite tips and tricks when you're road tripping. And maybe some of you love road trips, maybe some of you hate road trips. I tend to be on the side of I actually enjoy them. But sometimes solo road trips can get a little tedious, especially when you're doing a lot of them. I've been doing a lot of solo road trips lately, and they're not tedious yet. But sometimes I feel like that's coming around the corner. So I'm looking for new ideas of ways to be really intentional before you get in that car and go on your road trip. Some of my favorite things to do on road trips are to plan ahead with audiobooks. That can be fun. I tend to find the educational ones right now for whatever reason. I feel like I love to have a book in my hands when I'm reading novels or something more for entertainment. But when I'm learning, the audio works for me. But for whatever reason, I tend to get distracted for audiobooks when they're for entertainment. I don't know why. It must just be my learning style. And then the other thing I love to do is have like music playlists because music is a huge thing for me. And then I love to phone a friend. And then also sometimes I like to set the intention for a good chunk of time to be in self-reflection. And so these are all things I can do, obviously, that are safe while I'm driving. I'm not going into meditation or anything like that. But I just find that really going in with ideas, it's like my soul care toolkit, which I believe I've talked about in the past on the podcast. But just those things that you know nurture you and comfort you and support you, and things that can kind of take you out of a challenge, so to speak. And so, but there is something about driving specifically, like versus being a passenger, where to be really intentional about those road trips is a beautiful thing and can really, I don't know, I guess amplify. The intention amplifies the experience in a great way for me. So I would be curious to hear, how do you set intentions specific to road trips? Like what kind of things do you do? Sometimes if there's other people in the car, if it's not a solo thing, I like to plan ahead and plan games and things like that that sort of keep the rest of the car entertained. When the kids were little, we did have, this is ages ago. My kids are in their 20s now, so this is, 2 decades ago or more. But we had a little VCR TV and we could put a movie in, and there was a time where we forgot or chose not to bring the TV. And it's not like we watch TV the whole time, but sometimes it's just like you need that reprieve as a parent, and the kid needs something that will calm them down. But we forgot the TV. There was a rough patch, and there was I guess I'll call it a tantrum from my son, who really was angry that that TV wasn't there. And I said, "What do you want me to do? Snap my fingers and make a TV magically appear?" And he said, "Yes." So I did. I snapped my finger and I said, "Okay, there it is. There's a TV right there for you. It's invisible." Not at all thinking that that would be something that worked. And he quieted down and was like, "Okay." And I said, "Okay, what channel do you want to watch? This one?" And he was like, "No." And I used a fake remote, like an invisible remote, and said, "This one?" He said, "No." I said, "This one?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Oh, cool. So that one works for you?" And he's like, "Yes." I said, "What's playing?" And he said, "Blue's Clues." And I was like, and then he was quiet and literally watched an invisible TV for a little while. It was such a magical moment because it's just like sometimes you don't realize how much your imagination might support you on a journey. And I just remember thinking, wow, I didn't expect that to work. And I was feeling bad for him. He was sad and frustrated and having a rough moment. And as parents, we were having a rough moment because you're enclosed in a car and it's challenging. So I guess be clever, especially if you're traveling with children. I'll say that. But I find myself being clever on my own journeys as well. So I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to keep it short today, but today's all about road trips. I want to hear your favorite things. And, my things are pretty simple. Oh, the other thing I'll do sometimes is voice memos, like if I have ideas, because I get a lot of ideas. It's like in the shower and when I'm driving. What is it about that? It's because you can't have paper and pen and document things. So, it's lovely. It's delightful. So sometimes it's a voice memo thing as well. Because you can do all that hands-free and safely. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear about any road trip journeys you've had, even if it's just like where you went and what was exciting about it. I've been doing a lot of road trips lately. I have another one coming up. I'm going up north to one of my favorite places to see one of my favorite people. And but coming up, we're traveling, and then I'm actually taking a road trip up to for my nephew's wedding, and I'm excited about that as well. So I'm just thinking about road trips these days. What you got for me? And hopefully, the things that I've talked about could be helpful for you on your road trips as well, or even just a day that you know is going to be a longer day, and you have some time to fill. What do you fill that time with? And sometimes is it just space for yourself without a lot of distractions? I'm curious. Have a great day. Thanks for joining. Don't forget to like, share, follow, subscribe, any of those things if this resonates with you in any way. I always forget to ask for that. I guess I'm not always great about asking for things or for help, but if you enjoy the content, we appreciate a share. I appreciate a share. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.